Today I want to talk about quantum physics and the double slit experiment and how we can use this experiment and the information about it to help us become more aware of how our thoughts and choices affect us and who we become and how we can use this to choose a better life. So scientists, they shot beams of light particles called photons at a screen with two slits and expected to get two corresponding slits of results. Well, instead, what they found in the results were a pattern of light and dark bands. Now, this was suggesting that the light behaves like waves that pass through both slits simultaneously, interfering with each other to create a pattern on the second screen. So, scientists wanted to figure out, they wanted to observe and see which slit each photon went through. So, when they used a measuring device to observe the slit that each photon passed through, the actual interference pattern disappeared and two strips appeared. So, the act of actually observing those photons, which slit it went through, changed the behavior. They changed from waves to particles. So no one knows actually why this happens, but this experience has been done over and over and over and over, and they get the same results every time. So how does this relate to us, to me, and my choices? Well, first, we know we're spiritual, unlimited beings. We're full of all kinds of potential, just like that wave. So just like light particles that behave like waves, our lives have a wave of possibilities. Now, nobody knows what potential we have stored inside of us. However, what we choose to think about and believe, or in other words, what we observe, that collapses that wave into particles and creates our reality. So in other words, what we observe or choose to think about collapses, just like the photon, collapses from a wave of possibility into our reality. So our abundant self, our confident self, our free self, our healthy self, each of those exists as potential. But also our poor self, our doubtful self, our addicted self, our sick self, each of these also exists. So if we're stuck in the same loop, getting results that we don't want, we're just observing the wrong version of ourselves. If we want to change, we have to start observing the self we want to become by paying attention to our thoughts and emotions. Start observing the version of who you want to become, because we are creators. We are observers in this quantum field of life. And as it says in Proverbs 23:7, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.